How do you know that someone is really listening? One of the most obvious signs is that people are orienting towards you and that maybe they're leaning in and paying attention. As much as anything, this is a good thing to do when you're listening to someone, not just to signal to them that you're paying attention, but also to remind yourself that you're paying attention. Get your body into an orientation that to you indicates that you're paying attention. Related to that is the idea of being very conscious of when you go into listening mode and when you need to be in speaking mode. A lot of the time people spend their time listening just pausing to reload, as it were. So they're like preparing for volleying back the shot by listening, but only through the lens of, this is what I want to say, or this is what I think about what you just said. There's a very conscious shift involved in listening well, which is to try to step into the shoes of the other, to spend a little bit of time just with what is it that they're trying to say? What's the meaning of what they're trying to say? And can I capture that well enough to be able to reflect it back? This is one of the reasons why reflective listening is so useful, is that it forces us to really pay attention. I'm giving you a lot of advice in these videos, and you might find yourself monitoring yourself all the time, like, oh, am I really listening? Or I'm noticing I'm judging, or I'm forgetting what the person says. If all of that happens, just take it easy. Remember, this is a constant practice. It's a little bit like meditation. Just let yourself pause, reconnect with the other person and what they're saying. No need to beat yourself up. One thing that's really useful to listen to is not just the words, but the body language and the cadence, the tone, the way in which the words are offered. I particularly find it important paying attention to the pace of something. When people are anxious, they're often speaking very quickly, and you can reflect back what you're hearing in that speed. Or if they're speaking very slowly, they might be uncertain of what it is that they're saying. See if you can pick up on the pace of what they're saying and see if that tells you anything about what's going on for them. Obviously, paying attention to your non-verbals is important. I've already mentioned leaning in, but eye contact's important too. It might be helpful to know that people generally don't look straight at you when they're speaking. So it's okay to maintain eye contact with someone even when they're not looking at you. And it's okay for your eyes to drift away when you are speaking. I notice that that happens to me all the time. If you have to do something like check the time or shuffle through your notes at the moment, you might notice that I'm looking down occasionally, and I'm looking at my notes to record these videos. It's a really good idea to just let people know what you're doing and why. And then you can return your full attention to them. So here you go. Right now, every so often I'm looking down at my notes, and you might see that as being me redirecting my attention away from you, but it's the best I can manage with the technology that I've got available. One of the biggest barriers to listening well is your judgments of the other. So let me give you an example. You're interviewing someone, they arrive late. They come in, they're all flustered and hot and bothered, and then they're a bit garbled in their speaking. You might begin to think, oh, this person's terribly disorganised. And once that idea is in your head, it's really hard to let it go, and it kind of colours everything that you say and do. It's quite important to just give the other person the space to be whoever they want to be. I've noticed time and time again, my judgments of another can be quite wrong. So it's important that we make judgments. That's what we do as human beings. I'm not saying that judging is wrong, but it's also really important that we hold those judgments lightly and allow ourselves to be surprised by people. So that's some tips about being in the process of listening. Good luck.